Okay, so that only leaves the rumor mill. Rumor mill, we've got, now that the strike is over, we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about. We have X-Men leading the pack. We also have some Fantastic Four stuff coming out that might be hard to track, as well as a big James Bond rumor. So let's get into all of that. Hello, nerds. I know what you want. You're looking for the rumors, aren't you? Well, you've probably come to the right place, because that's what this is. This is the rumor mill. This is a section cut out of the much longer main episode over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. The name of the show is The Week in Nerddom. We talk about all of the news related to nerdiness and pop culture and such. And then at the end of every episode, we talk about the rumors. And so you just found a cheat code and you went straight to the rumors section, which is, you know, all right. So let's just cut to the rumors now, shall we? First up, like I said, X-Men, the writers' strike has ended. And so now the big rumor is that Disney has greenlit pre-production for the X-Men. But the rumor does go on to say that we do not yet have a script, so they are actively looking for writers for this script. Though, somehow, the rumor continues from there, saying that two things, and this is from multiple sources, which is why there's some conflicting information, but two other things are true. One is that it is going to tie directly into Deadpool 3, and two is that we are not going to have Wolverine as part of the X-Men team for this initial X-Men movie. So that is the rumor at its base, which let's get into that a little bit. Not having Wolverine be part of the X-Men to start kind of makes sense, because the X-Men did not include Wolverine when they were first inceptualized. Wolverine joined, I believe, in the 80s. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's when it happened. Wolverine joined in the 80s after they had already kind of been a thing since the 70s. And then he became one of the more popular ones, which is why the community is just a little bit up in arms about the fact that he's not going to be there. But also tied directly into Deadpool, even though the script isn't done yet, seems like a little bit of a stretch. I think that's one of the things that's really killing the credibility here, is that it's saying that it's going to tie into Deadpool 3. It's also not supposed to be coming out until after Secret Wars. So how do all of these things line up? They really don't. I think that, yes, the core of this rumor being that it is going to be that it has been greenlit and they are in early stages of pre-production. I think that is the most true of this. All of this other stuff that has been tacked on by other sources seems like grasping at straws, to be sure. So the overall rumor as a whole, including all of the ugly bits, we're going to say about 60% likely that any of this other stuff is going to happen. Though if we're just talking about the core rumor, I would say that's probably like 90% likely that they're doing early pre-production on this movie. So that's what we got on that one. Let's talk next about They Live. Apparently is getting a reboot movie. The original from, I think it was 88, might have been 84, starring Rowdy Piper, the wrestler, who was one of my favorites when I was a kid, is kind of a science fiction would say like a legendary movie, but it's not really like it's significant in the science fiction community, mostly because of the message, not because of the quality of the movie necessarily. But yeah, so They Live is getting reboot. This time it's going to be starring Andy Serkis, according to the rumor, and also the subtitle. It's not just going to be They Live like the first one. It's going to be They Live: The Conspiracy Unveiled. Yeah, I don't have really many reasons to not think that this is a thing, especially considering the source. We're going to put this one right about 70% likely that They Live is going to get a reboot movie, or like a sequel seems slightly more likely. Either way, I'm saying 70%. So there, let's move into Kang Dynasty, and this is where things start to get a little spicy with this week's rumor mill, because Kang Dynasty, the big rumor here is that it's potentially been canceled. Certain industry insiders who are in the business of leak mongering and rumor mongering have said that they haven't heard anything specifically about this movie for some time, so that is leading them to believe that it has been in fact canceled. I think that entirely too much has gone into promotion for these new Avengers movies, specifically Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, that they will not be dropping it off of their list anytime soon. So the likelihood that Kang Dynasty has been canceled, I'm going to give it a little bit because it is a couple of big leak mongers that are saying this. So we'll give it a little bit of leeway, say about 30% likely that that's going to happen. I just am not convinced of anything beyond that.
Oh, hey nerds. So, I gotta make myself useful. Now is the point in the show where you subscribe. I gotta chill for my lunch, so hit the subscribe button, tell everyone you know about the show. That way we can keep doing these things that we do to keep you informed of all that's going on across the nerddom, as it were. Yeah. So, thanks, and I'll see you next time, I guess. Alright, back to the show.
Next up, we have Superman Legacy. Technically, we've got two different rumors. We're going to break this down into two separate things. So let's go over the rumors first. First up, first half of the rumor is that Brainiac is said to be the major villain for the Superman Legacy movie coming from James Gunn and his new DCU. And then the second half of this rumor has actor Skyler Gisondo playing Jimmy Olsen. Skyler Gisondo, I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name correctly. For those that maybe might possibly know the name but don't know why, he is the eldest son of the grandchildren in the Righteous Gemstones. He is the son of Danny McBride's character, the eldest son of Danny McBride's character that wanted to be a stuntman in Hollywood. That is Skyler Gisondo. So he is apparently going to be playing Jimmy Olsen. So let's break these two down separately. Like I said, first, the Brainiac villain seems super likely. I can't imagine that Gunn is going to do anything super out of left field, but also only going with Lex Luthor as the villain has been done to death in live action Superman. So he's going to steer away from that, but Brainiac is well enough known amongst the normies and such that seems super bloody likely. So 70% likely that Brainiac is going to be the primary villain for the Superman Legacy movie. And then the second rumor being Skyler Gisondo. There's one way or the other. We literally just got back into the area where we can even speculate on stuff like this. So having them make this casting that quickly seems rather unlikely, though still possible. So we're going to ride the fence. We're going to go right down the middle, about 50% likely that we will be seeing Mr. Skyler playing Jimmy Olsen in the Superman Legacy movie. That's what we got there. Let's move next to back over to Marvel. We're talking about Fantastic Four this time. And this one is, I think, more speculative than actual rumor, though we'll get into that. So, the Fantastic Four script apparently is what is scaring away these actors. We've been talking about how Adam Driver has been rumored to be playing Reed Richards. We've also talked about a number of other actors. I can't think of any of them right now off the top of my head, but they've all reportedly turned down the role. Adam Driver has made a couple of different attempts at negotiations and still keeps turning it down. The rumor here is that it is because the script is entirely too Sue-centric. That's to the point where it makes Reed Richards almost unnecessary for the role. And one of the sources for this even went so far as to say that it made Reed Richards into there's something negative. I can't even think of what the word is now. But made Reed into a joke. We're going to just put it that way. It made Reed Richards a joke of a character, and that's why all of these actors are turning it down. So this is way speculative. There's no way for us to confirm or deny any of this information. Unless when the movie comes out, we still have remnants of this, and which if this is at all to be believed, then we won't see many remnants, if any, when the movie gets made. So likelihood that this is the reason why things are so kind of chaotic behind the scenes with the Fantastic Four movie, we're going to put it just above 50%. We're going to say 55% likely, because that does kind of sound like something Feige would push. though to his detriment, I don't know if I buy that. So from there, we have two more rumors. Let's talk about Avengers Kang Dynasty one more time. This time we're talking about a possible actor showing up in Kang Dynasty. Tobey Maguire has recently been rumored to be returning as Spider-Man in Kang Dynasty. This time it's not Secret Wars, we're talking the other one. We've been hearing something to do with Tobey Maguire for some time, so it sounds like very possibly there are some negotiations going on, some wheeling and dealing behind the scenes between Sony and Marvel and Tobey, and they're just trying to figure out where they can put Tobey. This is, again, very much speculation as to what's going on, rumored behind the scenes. So it seems like that is as good a place as any to put him. I can't say that it's going to be super likely, though. Again, this is such fan service at this point. I feel like they're kind of doing as much fan service as possible. We're going to say 75% likely we will be seeing Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man to some degree in the Kang Dynasty movie. And then our final rumor is potentially one of the bigger ones for the week, and that is James Bond. The rumor is that Christopher Nolan is in active discussions with the James Bond people. Was it Barbara Broccoli? Karen Broccoli? I can't think of her first name, but Broccoli is her last name. The lady who runs all of the James Bond stuff. He's in active discussions with her to direct not one, but two James Bond movies. When broached on this subject recently in interviews, he's kind of danced around the answer without really committing to anything. So that definitely lends one to believe that that is the case. But he has said previously, doing something with a pre-established IP creates a set of limitations that he's not super comfortable with. So we're gonna say, we're gonna up it from what I have written down. My written estimate was 60%. I think it's a little bit more likely than that. I'm gonna go 10% more. We're gonna say 70% likely we see Christopher Nolan direct two James Bond movies, specifically because even though he is adverse to doing something with a pre-established IP, he did Batman to an exceedingly great level, and so it seems to be limitations he's willing to deal with. And that's what we're going to say for the... Once again, these were the rumors from the most recent episode of The Week in Nerddom, found over on the main channel, youtube.com/generally nerdy. The name of the show, once again, The Week in Nerddom. Come back next time, because we got lots more rumors to debunk or possibly give some credence to, or what have you and whatnot. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.